Portugal is famous for its beautiful beaches, charming cities with various monuments and attractions, and unique nature. Check what places are worth visiting in this country located on the edge of Europe. Located in the southwest of the Iberian Peninsula, Portugal is the westernmost European country. It borders only with Spain, and the southern and western ends of Portugal are washed by the Atlantic Ocean. The borders of this country have not changed much since the 13th century. Portugal also includes two volcanic archipelagos lying in the Atlantic, the Azores and Madeira, which are eagerly visited by tourists. The greater part of the country is occupied by highlands and mountains, thanks to which the landscape is extremely varied and the wonders of nature delight even the most demanding tourists. If you add the Mediterranean climate, tasty cuisine and friendly people to it, you will get a perfect place. Start exploring Portugal from the capital, Lisbon. This largest city in the country is located, like Rome, on 7 hills. Its history begins in Roman times when the settlement of Olisipo was established there. In the 8th century, the city was conquered by the Moors, who changed its name to Lisbon. 4 centuries later, in 1147, the first ruler of Portugal, Afonso I the Conqueror, took it over. The most important Portuguese sea expeditions set off from the Lisbon port, including the one under the command of Vasco da Gama, which not only contributed to great geographical discoveries but also allowed for the rapid development of Portugal. Thanks to its history, Lisbon has an incredibly diverse architecture. The city is also famous for its beautiful green areas and excellent cuisine. In numerous bars and clubs you can listen to fado, that is, unusual Portuguese music. In Lisbon, you must visit at least 2 districts, Belém and Alfama. In the first one, there is a huge Jerónimos monastery which was built in the 16th century. It is one of the most valuable monuments in the Manueline style that combines the Gothic with the Renaissance. Another great monument from this period, Torre de Belém, is located nearby. This military building protected the port and emphasized the maritime power of Portugal at the same time. In Belém you will also see the monument to the discoveries. This mighty construction commemorates outstanding sailors and explorers, including Henry the Navigator, Vasco da Gama and Ferdinand Magellan. There is also a small observation deck from which you can admire the city and the port. Alfama is the oldest district of Lisbon, with the castle of St. George overlooking it. It was where fado was born, that is, longing and melancholy songs performed with guitar accompaniment. There are plenty of other sites in Lisbon that you should see, including the cathedral, beautiful churches, palaces and the modern district where Expo was held in 1998. You must definitely take a ride on the famous yellow trams that are the symbol of the city. You will see Lisbon from a completely different perspective. You don't have to take notes. We have included all the practical info in the description below the video. That's where you can also find links with accommodation, tickets to attractions and tips on how to pay abroad so as not to overpay on currency conversions. Stunning Sintra is located near Lisbon, on some charming hills. This amazing town with an interesting history impresses with its architecture and atmosphere. It is included in the UNESCO World Heritage List. Start your trip with a walk through the colorful streets in the city center. You should definitely try the local cherry liqueur and local sweets. Tempted by its charm and pleasant climate, the rich Portuguese built their summer palaces in Sintra. Today you can admire them in all their glory. But there are also older buildings dating back to the Middle Ages here. You should see the Pina Palace, the National Palace, the Moorish Castle and Quinta de Regaleira, a park with a deep, mysterious well. Praia Ursa, the most beautiful beach in Portugal, and the Cape of the Rock are located right next to Sintra. You will not only be able to relax here, but also admire the magnificent cliffs and unusual rocks. One of the most interesting cities in Portugal is Porto, located in the north of the country. However, before you get there, there are some other interesting places to visit. Fátima is a popular sanctuary associated with the famous Marian apparitions. It is worth seeing the Chapel of the Apparitions, the Basilica of Our Lady of the Rosary, and the Basilica of the Holy Trinity, which is the fourth largest church in the world. Tomar is located near Fatima. If you are fascinated by the Templars, a visit to this city is a must. Today's monastery of the Order of Christ, included on the UNESCO list, is the former seat of the Templar Order. But there is much more to see in the city, the old synagogue and the Pigos Aqueduct, among others. The next city on your route is Coimbra, picturesquely located by the Mondego River. This third largest city in Portugal is not only full of wonderful monuments, but is also a well-known university centre. The oldest university in Portugal and one of the oldest in Europe, Universidade de Coimbra, is located here. Be sure to see its historic buildings, the local cathedral and the Holy Cross Church. Spend at least a few days exploring Porto. Only then will you see how attractive this city is. Start with visiting the Old Town, which is on the UNESCO World Heritage List. Unique Ribeira district and the two-story Ponte Luisi Bridge can be found here among others. Ribeira is an old port district with narrow streets where you will find bars and restaurants with great local food and famous Porto wine. You should also visit the Church of St. Francis, the Palacio de Bolsa and the Sé Cathedral in Porto. In the cathedral, pay special attention to the silver altar and the fortified walls of the building that used to be a defensive structure. Torre dos Clérigos Tower is a great viewpoint over the city. By the way, take a look at the Baroque church adjacent to the tower, which you probably know from the photos. Even if you are not a fan of contemporary art, be tempted to visit the Serralves Museum. Located in a beautiful garden, it will not only allow you to view the works of art, but also have a pleasant rest. While in Porto, you can't forget about the local wine, that is Porto. Try this drink in one of the many wine cellars. If you are a wine connoisseur, go to the nearby Villar de Gaia, which is a real wine region. You can also visit Braga and Guimarães, which is called the Cradle of Portugal, as the first capital of this country was located here. There are many really interesting monuments here, with a wonderful castle from the 10th century. Near Braga you will find traces of Portugal's Roman past, and in Rua do Sudo Street you will feel a typical medieval atmosphere. There are many historic churches in the city, and one of them, Sanctuary of Bom Jesus do Monte, can be reached by unusual, decorated stairs. Algarve is considered the most beautiful region of the country. With the sun shining 300 days a year here, this southern region of the country delights with beautiful beaches, cliffs and charming towns. Although there are not many monuments here, the wonderful nature and excellent climate perfectly compensate for this. Algarve is one of the best places to have both a typically beach or active relax, as there are numerous golf courses, excellent places for cycling, great conditions for windsurfing and walking routes. Towns worth visiting include Tavera, Olhão and Faro. You will find charming architecture there and feel the fantastic atmosphere while wandering through the narrow streets. One of the most interesting places is Lagos. This seaside resort has many beautiful beaches that are surrounded by high cliffs and rocks of unusual shapes. You will also find a 17th century fortress and several other monuments here. However, the greatest treasure of Algarve is its beaches. That's where you will find golden sand and blue ocean among cliffs and rocks. Seaside caves can also often be found here. Even the fussiest sunbathers will find something for themselves here. Many beaches are well developed. While exploring Portugal, it is worth visiting its natural wonders. There are plenty of them here, and they are not just unique beaches. A national park was created in one of the most valuable natural areas. This is Peneda Gears, which includes 3 mountain ranges located in the north of the country. They are not too high but are really charming. You can meet many interesting animals and plants here, including a lot of endemics. Lovers of mountain hiking should also visit Serra da Estrela. This is the highest mountain range in Portugal, with the highest peak, Torre, 1,993 meters high. The only ski resort of the country is located in its upper part. You can get to the top by car and then climb the tower, thanks to which the height of 2,000 meters is exceeded. However, Serra da Estrela offers, above all, almost 400 kilometers of hiking trails of various difficulty. Thanks to them you can admire the local nature and beautiful views. In the south of the country there is Parque Natural da Ria Formosa, a unique ecosystem composed of peninsulas and islets that separate the Atlantic from the mainland. This unusual place abounds in rare animals, including seahorses, turtles and western swamp hen. Visit salt plains and try delicious local seafood in Olhão and Tavira. Portuguese caves are also very interesting. Benagil Sea Cave is one of the most visited. It is located on the Algarve coast near the town of Lagoa, and it can only be reached from the sea. Tourists most often choose special cruises or canoe trips to get there. You should also not forget that there are 2 archipelagos in Portugal. Both the Azores and Madeira are real gems of nature. Volcanoes and crater lakes in the Azores or prehistoric laurel forests in Madeira are just 2 examples of natural wonders. If your main goal in Portugal is to relax on its wonderful beaches, it is best to go there in July, August or September. You can be sure then that it will be sunny, the temperatures will be high and the water in the ocean will be warm. Also consider June or October if you prefer slightly lower temperatures and less tourists. If you are planning to focus on sightseeing, April, May and even November will be a great time. The temperatures are much lower then and there are not too many rainy days. You can easily reach Portugal by plane. There are airports in Lisbon, Porto or Faro among others. Many people choose to travel by their own car, which allows them to get to any place. If you additionally combine traveling with sightseeing, the trip will be very interesting. If you are not going to Portugal with your own car, you will have to use a car rental or public transport. There is quite a well-developed railway network here, but the best option are the buses. Even small towns can be easily reached this way, and they are usually faster and cheaper than trains. Timetables are available at each stop and tickets are purchased from the driver. When visiting the largest cities, such as Lisbon or Porto, consider using local tourist cards. Thanks to them, you will not only be able to use local transport, but they will also allow you to enter some monuments for free or pay less for admission in others. If you're already planning your trip, you can find accommodation and tickets to attractions on the spot in the links under the video description. You can also order a card for cheap payments abroad the same way. Press the bell and subscribe to our channel if you want to receive notifications about new episodes. Have a nice trip.